Right, YouTube, for those who are getting water in their boot or having it drip down from the roof and wet the back seats, so this is for EP2s, I imagine EP1, EP3 Type R, dc5, Honda Jazz, which might be a Honda Fit in America, any variant of that nature. So every time it rained, I was getting water coming to the boot. I know a common problem is this gasket can fail, but if you're getting a wet back seat, generally when that fails, it will come via this alarm thing and you'll get a drip down here, or you'll get a wet patch somewhere and your seat will get wet. But I was getting it dripping through this vent. Yeah, it just kept dripping. And I was in the car one day and it had been raining and I could hear a drip from inside the car, and I knew that was in the car. So I come to the boot, there's a wet patch here, and I seen it drip as soon as I opened, and it was probably one drip about every 30 seconds. And through this vent there's a little tab of metal up there, and I could just put my light on it and just see that there was a drip waiting to drip. So pull that out, and there's a screw here, screw there, and a screw under there. That just put your seat forwards, and then that just pulls straight out. And then C-pillar, that just some poppers, so you just pop that out. Okay, so mine was obviously running down from here, coming here, under there, and dripping out. So there's a hole up here, and I thought it was coming from the rear wiper jet at first, but turns out it wasn't. I sealed that anyway, but pulled this off anyway. There's a hole up here. There's a bit of foam. It's pulled the foam out. It's only like a cube of foam. It was soaked, absolutely soaked. So I got a towel, got in there, dried it all out, and I could see the drip develop again straight away. So I was like, right, it's got to be this body seam. So as you can see, this seam runs up anyway and goes all the way to the edge of this gutter and then runs all the way to the front. Now it's seam sealed all the way down, and the seam sealer had failed. I'll show you on this side. I've sealed this side as well. Didn't have the problem on this side, but I thought prevention. So if you want to take this gutter out, just grab it, pull it towards the front of the car. It's only on a little popple like that. It just goes in, locates in that pin. Now it runs on this edge closest to my finger. So I sealed it because you could see there was a crack there. It was only a very faint crack, but water will get in there anyway. So anyway, I sealed that up and it stopped leaking, but I noticed I still had a wet patch in the corner down here. It was always right round the edge, you know, and then it'd end up pooling up in the spare wheel well. So I pulled these out and I looked down here and I could see dampness on the bottom. You can't really see it now because I can't get my phone in, but there's a vent there, and the gasket on it had failed, and it was just like a foam gasket. It wasn't even like rubber or anything, it was just foam. So there was water getting in there. So obviously when it rains, I was getting water coming in here, so going in that seam and going under, dripping through down the air pillar into the bottom. The rest of the water should run down here. It'll go behind your light regardless. Sometimes your light gasket fails, and that can let water in, but that's just a couple of nuts here. Pop them off. You have to take your bumper off, and then there's a screw underneath on a hanger, or you can take the hanger off as well. And that'll let water in. So you take your bumper off anyway to get to these vents, and then I just pop them out. You can see the sealer around the edge, the white stuff, and I just sealed them back in. Now that stopped the leak, the water from getting in. So I did both sides anyway, just to make sure. But yeah, hopefully, you know, that'll be one of your problems. Either the sealant's failed in the gutters, or if you're getting a pooling water right down the edge, either your light seal or the vent seal under here. I don't know if there is any other leaking areas, but they're the ones that I know of. And obviously the aerial, if you've put a different spoiler on, you know, these bolts are known to leak, you know, they can put water into your boot as well. So just, you know, keep that in mind. Well, hopefully that'll help somebody sort the water out of the boot.